A Simplex converted to a Great Western Railway Prairie Tank. This one is part 52. Spending my birthday money, cleaning up the valve gear and the front and rear wheels. This is a powerful energy saver light bulb, and I would normally use this type of bulb in the soft boxes that illuminate the bench. I really fancied changing everything over to LED, so with part of my birthday money, I bought some LED light bulbs. This clip is illuminated by the first of the LED light bulbs, and here I am actually fitting the bulb. It does seem to be quite a bit brighter than the energy saver type. The camera is set to auto iris and it automatically adjusts it for the right light level anyway. The main problem with the energy saver type of light bulb is the power consumption. Look at this one, it's an 80-watt bulb, but the LED type that I've just fitted is a 40-watt bulb, and it's brighter. Fitted to one of the roof joists in the workshop is an overhead bulb assembly. It's from an old soft box and it holds 4 individually switchable bulbs. But I have them on all the time, and even though these are quite low wattage bulbs, it mounts up. So I've changed these for LED bulbs of the type you see here. These LED bulb arrays are the 15-watt type. The large bulb you can see on the right-hand side of the clip was fitted to my other soft box which illuminates the bench from the side. By the way, a soft box is just like a diffuser. It's a big hood with reflectors in it. And to finish off my birthday present money, I bought this. It's a Drill Doctor diamond sharpening wheel for the Drill Doctor that I also bought myself for my birthday. The model I have is a 750X. These 4 LED units do look a lot better. The light is better for video as well. You need the area to be brightly lit, but not too bright that it bleaches out everything in the image. What happens if you don't have sufficient light is that your video camera will turn up the gain of the internal components to compensate for the lack of light. And this generates electronic noise, and you get a grainy type picture. Quite unlike this image, which is very sharp and very clean. This is the part of the valve gear that's known as the combination lever, but this one is more like a banana. I have a choice. I can either live with it and paint it yellow, or I can use a soft hammer to straighten it. That's much better, maybe a fraction more. Yes, that's fine. There are 2 of these fitted to the engine and they were both bent. But not anymore, they're both quite straight now. It's time now to start the really tedious process of cleaning up the valve gear. It's boring, it's tedious, and it takes a long time. I'm using various methods. I'm using 400 grit wet-to-dry sandpaper, and here I'm using it over the edge of the bench to clean up the complex shape of the end of the combination levers. I also used a lot of green Scotch-Brite for this job too, as well as my brass wire brush for just cleaning all the dirt and grime from around the bushes. Because I'm using a brass wire brush for this job, the steel is not being scratched. Eventually the valve gear is cleaned up sufficiently. These are the 2 expansion link brackets that fit to the main motion bracket, and as you can see I've removed the paint from them. Also very shortly I will be fitting the smokebox saddle to the chassis. So this needs painting too, first of all using etch primer, and this stuff sticks quite well even to gunmetal and brass. The sound you can hear is obviously me shaking the can, which I did for quite a while. Then I went into the outer part of the workshop and started painting. And it's quite cold in this part of the workshop. Some viewers suggest warming the aerosol can first, which is okay because it had been in the inner part of the workshop, so it was quite warm anyway. I always paint things in the outer part of the workshop right by a wide open door. But once I'd finished painting, I brought the parts into the inner part of the workshop to dry. Because this has a Prairie Tank wheel layout, it has wheels at the front and wheels at the back, both mounted on special pony trucks. The idea of this is to guide the engine around curves, and in the full size I assume it spreads the weight of the engine on the tracks a bit more evenly. This is the front pair of wheels, and I'm giving the entire assembly a really good wire brushing to get rid of any dirt. I'll be repainting these very shortly, and I can't say I'm looking forward to that with a paintbrush. The springs are quite weak and the whole assembly is a bit odd. The main brackets that hold the springs are riveted to the side panels, so the wheels and axles were put on after the unit was made. Perhaps not the way I would have done it, but that's what I'm working with. Don't forget, this is sort of a sympathetic restoration. There are definite limits as to how far I want to go with this engine from a time point of view. And you know what they say, you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. But some parts of this engine are quite good and others aren't. Here I'm cleaning up the rims of the wheels. They're actually quite rusty. I'm using the Proxxon motor tool fitted with a flapper wheel, and I'm testing it on the rear of the wheels first. That doesn't seem too bad. It's perhaps a little scratchy, but a bit of hand emery clothing should put that right. Here I'm cleaning up the front of the wheel, and it took a long time. It cleaned up okay, but it's taking far too long. Here's the first wheel, and it looks okay, but I have a much better way of doing this job. I've fitted the outside jaws in the 3-jaw chuck, and now I've clamped one of the wheels in place. And here I'm making sure that the wheel is tightly clamped into the chuck. I decided to run the lathe in reverse for this job, but be warned, if you use a threaded chuck, it's not a good idea. The other end of the wheel set was supported by a live centre. And here's the clever part. Well, it's not that clever, but I'm holding my Proxxon motor tool in the slot on the top slide where I've removed the tool post. So this could be called tool post grinding for beginners. This was a very successful way to clean up the front surfaces of a wheel. They had a really nice ground finish. I then finished off the job with a piece of Scotch-Brite as usual. Please note, I cannot recommend doing this job on the main wheel sets because they have crank pins, which makes it very dangerous. In the next episode, I will be painting these pony trucks and the wheels, and I found a really quick and easy way to do it. But that's it for this one. I'd just like to say stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.